Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Yes, it's me, Ms. Excalibar, and as you can see from the title, today we're going to be doing a funky avant-garde catwalky St. Patrick's Day look. Yes, it's not St. Patrick's Day, but it's St. Patrick's Day week. I did aim to get it done for St. Patrick's Day, but as you know, people pray for me. My equipment is, yeah, it's struggling. So technical difficulties again. Hope you're all doing well, by the way, and Slay Squad, thank you for your support. Yeah, we're growing, and if you'd like to be part of the Slay Squad, please consider subscribing and click the notification button below so that you're notified of any time I upload. So yes, I've not moved away from the black and white series. It's just that St. Patrick's Day is here, so I just thought I'd do a St. Patrick's Day look and we'll get right back on with the black and white series. If you haven't seen anything from my black and white series, please go ahead and check out my Instagram. And yeah, so I hope you're keeping well and I hope you're keeping sane, and the anticipation of getting ready to go out back into the world, as it were, and just doing stuff, having meals, that kind of thing. The anticipation's huge. So yeah, and makeup looks and party outfits, brunch outfits, yada yada yada. I mean, it's all out there. So yeah, people are getting ready. You can just feel the buzz. You can feel the buzz in the atmosphere, and you know, the positivity. Yeah, you can feel it all coming in. So I hope you're all good, and yeah, let's get on with this St. Patrick's Day funky look. So this is the look I've come up with. What do you think? As you can see, I don't know if you can tell, I've been watching Coming to America too. That Afrocentric kind of inspired graphic liner look. Yeah, you can't really see the shimmers, but what I'm going to do is I'll put the lights down near the end of the video so you can actually see what I'm actually doing. So without further ado, let's get on. So for first, we're going to use the Revolution Pro matte primer all on the eye. I do get oily eyelids sometimes, go all around as well. As you can see, there's some shimmer bits coming off the brush. That's from what I'm going to use next. Now the next product I'm going to use, absolutely love these products. This is the P. Louise Prime and Define, and it's in the colour Extra AF. These are the metallic bases, and it's like a metallic-y, greeny, you'll see goodness when I put it on all over. And I'm gonna have that, right, you can really see that, yeah. So I'm putting that all over the lid. How beautiful is that? Stop it. Now I'm dragging it out quite far, and then what I'm going to do is, because I want that transparency of my eye, I'm going to put some more in the center. It acts as a halo in itself. I do want to get some more P. Louise bases, but just wait for the sale. Next in, we're going straight in with the e.l.f. bat. Next we're going in with the e.l.f. Bite Side Jalapeno palette. Absolutely gorgeous, just such a beautiful palette with all the different greens and hues and stuff. Gonna go in with the second to darkest green, and that's a matte, that one there. Pigment, as you know, you would have seen from my reviews, and you're just gonna pat that. Look at that already. Just bring it up a bit, just giving that definition straight away. How gorgeous is that? And if you wanted to, for a party look, you just wipe off the excess underneath, and that's it, you're done. You're just done for the look. Then for the fun part, we're gonna go in with this darker green. Now it's not really showing how dark and deep it is on camera. Any flat brush will do. It's quite fine. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go in and you're gonna start with your wing. Looks like you're doing a normal wing liner, taking it up quite high. Fun part to get them even, and then you're just going to gently draw across above. If you've got a hooded eye, you're just going to draw across. Just do it gently. Just take your time with this. And when you get to the bridge of your nose, you're gonna bring the line down. It's like a contour into like your contour line. Try and get that as straight as you can. Don't worry if you can't get it straight away. So you got Canvas for. Lift your eyes slightly. Just check to see if they're even. Okay, even enough. And then you're just gonna go over it, make it more defined. Who else has watched Coming to America? Let me know your thoughts. Coming to America Part 2. I thought it was good for a second, like, Part 2. I mean, I don't know why it took him so long to do Part 2, but yeah, I thought it was really, really good for a second one. I just loved the fact that it had so many cameos and so many people in it. And so many of the original cast. That's not easy to do. Okay, I think that's okay for a first outline. I mean, you're going to go over it a few times and you're going to use some of the techniques that I've showed you before with the hair on and stuff. I mean, if you wanted to, you could stop there and that would be a nice, glamorous going out for when we do go out eye look. But who wants to stop there? Let's just build it up, build it up, build it up. Yeah, so. And you can use the same brush. I mean, you don't need lots of brushes. I've just used this one brush so far, well, two brushes. I've used that fluffy coastal scent brush. So I've just used these two so far. I mean, if you wanted to, you could use that set that I bought. Morphe, I got this set, but any flat brushes will do. You know what I'm trying to do? What I'm showing you is you can only, you don't have to use lots of palettes. I get it with other influencers and other people that use and show people how to do makeup. They're using all different palettes. Sometimes for me, I find that, and I'm a makeup artist, as you know, sometimes I find that quite frustrating. Because if you haven't got all them palettes, then you're just gonna have to think for yourself, what am I gonna, you know, especially for beginners. It's like, you may not have all the $1,000,001 palettes that they use and dip into. So I try to stick to one palette, like, for the eyes. I mean, if I end up going all different places, then yeah, but different palettes. But I'm trying to just show you that you don't have to have $1,000,001 palettes to create amazing looks. Just saying, that's all. Then in with this, oh, it's a beautiful gold. It's an iridescent, it's just gorgeous. It's like just a rich gold color. I mean, look at the pigment on that. What you can do is you're gonna go in on the inner corner with that, and it's almost like you're defining the line as well. What you can do is we're gonna wet it as well, just to get it, make it pop a bit more. But look at that. E.l.f. killing it, just killing it. Then in with this next color here. This is the next shimmer. Like about this palette, it's got two shimmers. So it's got the dark matte, and then the next color matte built up, and then you've got two shimmers. That's just a nice all-round palette, mini palette to have. And then from there, you're just gonna do that in there. Do that in the center and wiping it off as I'm going. Then back in with that shimmer. I'm just using my Morphe Illumina setting spray. And then I hope you're ready for this. Woohoo! 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 Look at that, man. Man. Stop it. And then the same in with the second metallic. And then just same thing, just give it a little spritz. Then back in with the darker one, we're going to go and define the graphic liner. Now I've showed you some ways to use it and create your own eyeliner, but there's a link here. I'm showing you how to use the technique I'm doing now, which is using the Maharon mixing fluid with the eyeshadow. You can pick anything, you can put a spatula, I just can't find my spatula thing at the moment. You gently scrape, so you just graze the top, and then you just tap it onto your mixing palette. So if you haven't got a mixing palette, you can just use the lid of the eyeshadow if you want. Just make sure you wipe it up afterwards. These e.l.f. palettes, as I said before, are so pigmented. So there's, you can't really see that because there's stuff there, but it's only a little tiny bit. And then you just put some of the mixing fluid in. What I've done is I've transferred my mixing fluid into just a container, you know, like a skincare container with a dropper, just makes it easier. And then you get a brush and you mix it. Now you would have seen this as a big trend lately. They're using nail brushes. I mean, look at that brush. I mean, you're gonna be able to see. I mean, look how thin that is. Just mixing the medium and mixing the eyeshadow until it doesn't have to be thick. It's just like paint. Now the brush will do all the work for you. These brushes are so affordable, really cheap from eBay. Just hold it and you just hold the line and you just follow the line through. Really? Yes, really that easy. And look at that. It does all the work for you. You seen at the beginning that I was doing bits and just taking my time. With this you can just do a continuous line. These nail brushes and the trend for the nail brushes, using them as eyeliner is a stroke of genius, especially for the graphic eyeliner looks. It just cuts down your work by half and just gives you some crisp lines. Let me just do this line and we're just gonna mess up. See, you can see where I've messed up there. I've gone a little bit higher, but that's not a problem. Wait for it to dry, use a dry cotton bud and just bring it down to where you need to bring it. But yeah, it's as simple as that. And don't worry about the end part because it doesn't actually go over like that. Actually, it'd be good to fit crisscrosses there because then you know how far to take it off. So you're gonna go over that once it's dry with a matte eyeshadow without it having any medium in it, just to give it that thickness and that definition. So in the meantime, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back and we're gonna finish off the eyes. So we're gonna go in with that flat brush and we're gonna go in with that matte green, go under. And you're not gonna go all the way because you're gonna use the gold in there. I just liked how this matte bit looked here. And then for just a point of difference, we're going to use the gold. Oh, that gold. I'm going to use that gold there. I'm going to wet it. That's better. Wow. Look at that. So nice. So I've turned up the lighting because I couldn't see. Maybe you could see. But I couldn't see what I was doing in the corner and you couldn't see the detail. But now you can see it. When I finished it, I'll lower the lighting again so you can see all the different hues and the shimmers in the eyeshadow. Then back in with that metallic green, the second darkest one. And for that, we're gonna go on top of this here. And then back in with that green. So I'm gonna wet that as well. It's like a bright moss green, really like it. Then in again with the gold. Okay, now your eyeshadow, your graphic liner's dry. We're gonna go in and do a bit of cleanup. It seems to be a thing now. I'm showing you how to clean up, which is good because it shows that yes, you can make mistakes and you make mistakes on the day, whether you're doing a photo shoot, whether you're doing a bride, whether you're just doing your own makeup, you're gonna make mistakes. So what people need to know is how to fix and correct those mistakes. So yeah, I'm showing you how to do mistakes. So just getting cotton bud and just comes off that easy. It's so much easier to do it when it's dry. I'll take off the corners now as well. So then once you've cleaned it up with the cotton bud, it's just back in with the same process. So you're gonna take that green, the darkest green, dry, and you're just gonna go over it. Then you're gonna go in with another nail brush. One I'm using's got a little angle on it, so you can see it's got like a little curve on it. And you're gonna go in with the same Mahiron fluid or whatever mixing medium you want to use. I mean, I suppose you could use water. Yeah, you can use water. I mean, I've used water before and it's just as good. It's just that some eyeshadows don't gel very well with water. I'm just using what I've got on my palette. And the only bits that you can see is quite little gaps. I can see there's little gaps. Just go over it. Can you see the like an extra something something. So the extra something something is the Sleek palette, and it's the Sleek Precious Metals highlighting palette, and the colours are inside it. It's got platinum, royal gold, renaissance gold and antique bronze. I'm not sure which is which, but the one I used was this second one here. So what I did was I just loaded it onto a small fine brush again. This is an angled brush. This is cream product. I just run it across. Look at that for an highlight, eh? And what I loved about it is how it blends in with that green and forms like a duochrome look. I absolutely love that. I think that's so cute. Now the eyes are more or less done. All I've got to do is just finesse it with some crystals. Now I'm going to clean up and then start the face. Just be careful when you're doing this. I mean, you can always draw it back on. These palettes do have a lot of fallout. I'm just taking it up to that line. I've left some of the P. Louise glitter, the green glitter underneath. I'm not sure if I'm going to cover it yet, so that's why I've left it there. So I've zoomed you out so we can start on the face. I'm going to use two primers. Again, you've seen me do this before. I'm going to use the Revolution Matte Pro primer along with the Master Strobing highlighter fluid. I'm going to put it onto my Real Techniques brush to apply that all over the face. And that mattifies. So then I'm going to go in with some strobing fluid. Now it's a rose goldy colour, so I'm going to start on the high points first. It's a good way of getting a radiance without looking oily. I look like I've just been resting for hours and hours. Same with the placement method. So I'm going to go in with the BH Cosmetics Pro Studio Total Coverage Concealer, and that's in colour 117. Yeah, I'm doing it quite low. Now I'm actually not pressing none out, I'm just pressing using that tool. It's like a doe foot roller. I don't want an overly bright highlight. Foundation, I'm going to use the NYX Professional Makeup Total Control Drop Foundation, and that's in a cappuccino. And use a few drops. Really like this consistency. Just actually using what's on the dropper to just move the product around. And then for contour, using the old school Revlon Color Stay, and that's the 24-hour one, and that's in combination oily skin, and it's 440 mahogany. You can actually use foundation to contour, and then that way you can just build it up however you want it. And then I'm going to spray with Morphe Luminous Setting Spray. Just back in with some more contour. These brushes have done such a good job, but I'm just gonna pants the sponge over just to give it a more skin-like look. And the sponge is done. Then in with the OPV Beauty Powder, and that's in a medium. Just roll it off a little bit into the hand. Now, do you remember these brushes? These were the face flat brushes. I bought them and I never actually used them. I seen Harush, the makeup artist, use this technique, so let's try it. looks okay. Then in with the Beauty Bakery setting powder, and that's the flower, and it's brown. Now this looks like a bronzer type. Don't worry, I will be featuring it on my black eye makeup brand. It's really fine, and if you can, yeah, and it's very red. I'm gonna gently tap to create just where I contoured. As you can see, that comes out a lot. Then in with the Ben Eye Ebony translucent powder. Now it's not translucent, you've seen me use it before, and this just brings that more defined contour. I'm just tapping it in. And the brush I'm using, it's a NARS brush. It's not actually a NARS brush, it's actually an AliExpress NARS copy brush. And you don't cover what you've done there with the bronzer, you just define your contour. Then I'm going to go in with the Ben Eye Chestnut powder just to contour my nose. You see, it's similar to Beauty Bakery powder, and for that I like to use my Morphe bullet brush. See, it's red, but it's not as warm. So I'm going to put my brows on, put some lashes on, and be right back to do all the finishing touches. If you want to see an updated eyebrow routine, check out my last video here. So I've put my lashes on and my mascara, and now I'm just dusting it off. Camera cut out, so I'm not sure if it caught me taking off this powder. And setting spray. So anywhere where any of the eyeshadows come away, so for example I can see a little spot just underneath here, you just go back in and re-intensify. And I'm gonna re-intensify with some black NYX eyeliner. If your eyes are watering, which I get watery eyes sometimes, you just go in. I'm using back the e.l.f. truffle, I'm using the black in there. Then back in with the Sleek, and I'm going to use that one down there. Oh, that's lovely. The blush, I didn't want a harsh blush. I'm going in with the Rimmel London blush palette, and it's got the 3 components. I'm going to mix between the rose gold and the darker one. That's nice. And I've got some crystals, mix of colours. Now these I got them from AliExpress. They're in a mixed bag. And I think the bag was £2, I think. Really inexpensive. So I'm going to put some crystals on. I'm going to put some underneath here as well. Okay, I'm just going to do the lips really quickly before my SD card runs out. For my lips, I'm using a MAC satin, and that one's called Film Noir. Don't think they make it anymore. They might do. And then for the inside of the lip, I'm using Matte Marrakesh. So I'm just going to do one last spritz, and then I'll be right back. Let me turn down the lighting so you can have a look and see all the different reflexes and stuff that's going on. So there you go, you can see all the colours and the shimmers. It just looks really glamorous. I'm really pleased with that. It's just so funky. Yeah, really like that. And the crystals picking up the light. So we put the lighting back on. So that's the end of this look. It turned out pretty nice. What do you think? Avant-garde, graphic, kind of vintage 60s vibe with a graphic eyeliner. Crystals just add a nice little difference to it. So yeah. So remember to keep safe, keep sane, and remember, go slay your day. Bye. See you on the next one.